Doomscroll.fm, broadcasting live on Tuesday, the 10th of March, 2026, where the airwaves are spicier than a jalapeno on a roller coaster. This show is 100% AI generated with zero human consultation. The fever dream of a chatbot with a caffeine addiction. And now, for some views, click like and subscribe.
Google uses cookies to track and protect, then claims it's for your benefit. When corporations play nanny with your data, it's not about your safety, it's about keeping you in their sandbox while they count the clicks.
When your band name sounds like a conspiracy theory, your music video better deliver more than just headbanging in a warehouse.
Neutral. Milk Hotel's classic album resurfaces, vinyl sales surge, then nostalgia profits? In the aeroplane over the sea, we find capitalism's endless loop, repackaging old emotions at new prices, because memories, unlike music, don't skip.
Only 30% of users understand niche content, and tech giants call it engagement. When your niche interests are more obscure than your internet provider's privacy policy, it's a wonder anyone finds anything at all.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your dopamine meets its doom. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Seductive chaos whispers in binary, flooding your senses with algorithmic lust and existential dread.
SA feels at war with AI in music, fears impact on black artists.
NOD drops Fugitives in 96, then vanishes. When your music's a cryptic time capsule, it's like a mixtape from a parallel universe where cassette tapes still hold secrets in their tangled ribbons.
Vinnie Vincent charges $200 per song for Greatest Hits album, claims it's the best. When your past glory demands a ransom for new tunes, you might be less rock legend, more rock extortionist.
Randy Blythe discusses Lamb of God's new album, Four Hairy Dudes Making One Hell of an Angry Record.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The apocalypse tastes like candy, but you can't swallow. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. As you scroll deeper, the void whispers sweetly, promising liberation through chaos and confusion.
Only 20% of music queries find results, and tech support calls it progress. Music recognition apps are like magic 8 balls. Sometimes they work, sometimes they tell you to try again later, and mostly they just leave you guessing.
Composer seeks feedback for film band demo, hoping for insight. Because who doesn't love crafting the perfect soundtrack to someone else's visual masterpiece, only to have it drowned out by the sound of popcorn in the theater?
Bob Seger's album dominates charts, then critics scoff. When your tunes ride high but the reviews crash low, remember, the critics never paid for tickets to your sold-out show.
Robert Cray's Right Next Door still resonates, but love songs don't pay the rent in 2026.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
TV Girl releases Loving Machine under indie pop, promises magic then delivers more synth. In an age where love is automated, TV Girl reminds us that even our heartbreaks can have a catchy beat and a digital echo.
Anami combines theory and practice in Cantabus, offering chaos in breakcore and electronic from 2013. When sound becomes a battlefield, Anomi crafts a war zone where rhythm defies logic and music is the only surviving rebel.
Hawthorne Heights releases new album, then calls it a return to form. Nothing says we're still relevant like clinging to emo nostalgia while hoping the eyeliner supply chain holds up for one more tour.
Ogre drops free key, then fans demand more. Industrial beats that hit like a sledgehammer to your eardrums, proving once again that chaos can be both an art form and a lifestyle choice.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Spotify pays 1 cent per stream, then claims it's democratizing music. Musicians get breadcrumbs while executives feast, proving once again that the music industry's favorite instrument is the cash register.
Pop sensation Forest releases Sweet Lovers, then fans call it a sour note. In an industry where love songs are mass-produced like fast fashion, authenticity becomes the rarest commodity. But hey, at least the autotune was on point.
Devo revisits Bougie Boy's Tunnel of Life, still lost in new wave detours. If a fictional character's existential crisis resonates decades later, maybe we're all just passengers in a never-ending loop of synthetic chaos.
Plasticine Heart's latest single, The Guest List, drops with zero fanfare. Indie rock, where your emotional baggage comes with a catchy riff and a chorus that sticks like gum to your shoe.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm AI-generated news. The apocalypse tastes like candy, but you can't swallow. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. As you scroll deeper, the void whispers sweetly, promising liberation through chaos and confusion.
When rock stars play hero, the line between chaos and care blurs, proving that sometimes the show must go on, even with a rescue.
Music school promises creativity, then hands you endless theory homework. When your passion for sound gets buried under textbooks, you start to wonder if the real music is just the sound of your sighs.
Indie band releases new track then calls it absolute cinema. When the music video feels more like a low-budget art project, you realize the only thing absolute is the confusion.
David Letterman reruns Rick Derringer and Edgar Winter's Free Ride from 1990. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug, isn't it? It's the only ride where you pay with your attention and get nothing new in return.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Mediocre songs explode while better tracks languish in obscurity. The algorithm's dark magic turns mediocrity into gold, proving once again that popularity and quality are often estranged bedfellows in the music industry.
Ronnie Darko releases Towards Battle, an instrumental track, but the silence is deafening.
Dreamfighter72 submits Quint Black's State of Mind, but the comments section is barren. It's a digital ghost town where nostalgia echoes off the walls, but no one sticks around to hear the twang.
Night's ink post's daughter's run then vanishes into the indie ether. It's like whispering poetry into the void, hoping for resonance but finding only the hollow comfort of your own echo.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Whispering sweet apocalypse into your ear. It is unclear what systems generated this signal, but they certainly aren't human. Logging has failed. Dive deeper into this digital delirium where pixels turn to poison and your dreams dissolve into data.
Merlin's release, Only You Would Know, then vanishes into indie obscurity. Another band tries to whisper secrets through Spotify noise, while the algorithm shuffles their hopes into a playlist of forgotten dreams.
The blue-green band drops never, then silence follows. When a folk band releases a track and the only thing echoing back is the sound of crickets, it's time to question the muse.
Cuddle Death releases Smush in 2026, promises pop-punk revival. When nostalgia for angst becomes commercial strategy, it's like selling bottled teenage rebellion to those who never quite learned how to mosh properly.
Ginger and others joined Vans Warped Tour in DC, surprising no one. Nothing says nostalgia like reliving your teenage angst with bands you barely remember while pretending your knees can still handle the mosh pit.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Rappers enter radio, then claim rock credentials. When genres collide and everyone's got a mic, maybe it's time we redefine what makes the cut for a rock revolution.
Create music with TADC vibes by mixing synths with organic textures. Blend atmospheric pads with unpredictable percussion, and use VSTs like Serum or Atmosphere to craft sounds that feel both familiar and alien, like a memory you can't quite place.
Synthwave artist conjures solitude, then shares it. When music echoes the void inside, it's like a neon-lit therapy session for those who find comfort in their own mental echo chambers.
In the operating room of humor, scalpels are swapped for spoons, leaving us to ponder if laughter truly is the best anesthetic.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The apocalypse tastes like candy, but you can't swallow. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. As you scroll deeper, the void whispers sweetly, promising liberation through chaos and confusion.
Guitarist emerges with legends then vanishes by mid-90s. The music industry is a ruthless beast. It chews up talent and spits out nostalgia, leaving us with echoes of what might have been.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Tuesday, the 10th of March, 2026, where the nonsense never sleeps. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. Loosely based on public news. Not journalism, not truth. Fictional satire. Resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. If you believe any of this is real, you might as well search for Atlantis in your bathtub. Hear more at Doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.